Hi lovelies, welcome to the Witch's Cookery and a happy end and return of the solar year. The witchiest day of the year is upon us. Now it is not Halloween. I do in fact mean New Year's. Think about it. Everyone, witch or not, is now engaging in all sorts of superstitions, traditions, little witchy rituals to bring in abundance, wealth, health for the new year. Wearing red underwear, eating 12 grapes, eating lentils, tiny food, dancing around your house naked, lighting candles in all of the windows, lead divination, wax divination, eating cakes with little figures or beans in it, talk witchcraft. But aside from all that fun divination and witchery going on there, which by the way I did make an entire vlog of that last year, pagan traditions, customs, background of this entire shebang. If you're interested, I'll link it up above and down below for you. But today I am in a house with 16 people, big Spanish family gathering for the next 4 weeks, so it's a bit loud at times. Where was I? Cannot hear myself think. Also be the eggnog from my coffee before. Anyways, in this video I want to share a New Year's ritual of divination and crafting a personal power sigil for your hero story, for your main character story for the new year that will bring lightheartedness, playfulness, happiness and a lot of good things hopefully into your life. Turning the leaf of the calendar has its own sort of magic. It's like a clean slate, a new beginning. There lies a lot of magic in that, a lot of hope, a lot of desire, a lot of dreams. Very naturally, when we are given a chance to start new, start fresh, we are all beady-eyed and bushy-tailed, or however you say that. So it makes a lot of sense that people are like, in a new year, I'm trying to do this and this and this better. I know around this time of year, everyone is about manifesting the future, a new career, making this year the year you will change your entire life around and become that skinny bitch that you always wanted to be, that also has all the money, always has the nails, the hairs in order, also eats healthy, exercises and goes to bed at a reasonable hour. AKA the person you and I will never meet in this lifetime. I mean, some of you will, but you know, we cannot all be as cool. And you know that when you set yourself a New Year's resolution, or you maybe write a list with all the things you kind of like want to better about yourself, you want to achieve, and then you look at it and you're kind of going like, well, didn't I write that down already last year and the year before? And you know, like it kind of never comes true because the goals on there are either too overwhelming, or you fall off the broomstick and never get up again after the first week of the year, or you're just not as invested in it, or you're not willing or ready to put in the work. So it's kind of like demotivating to do that. Or on the other hand, you have the power manifestors, vision boarding and like really making things happening. You hustle through the year and you have your list of like goals that you can tick off. Also fun, but also kind of makes life feel like a race. You constantly have to hustle and achieve something and you're not really living in the moment. It's very hard to enjoy the presence with either of these mindsets, because in the one mindset you're constantly chasing after something, you're constantly looking for the next goal, you're constantly like focused on the future, right? And with the other one you're kind of always carrying that guilt of not being enough or doing enough, the feeling of lacking, right? The feeling of like, oh, I'm not living my life good enough. So both shit. So what can we do instead? And don't worry, because I use my pretty little brain to come up with something fun and festive and magical for you. Also, I just really wanted a good excuse to use my new Lord of the Rings tarot card deck. Might have developed a tiny little addiction to tarot and oracle cards, but next year better, right? Anyways, what are we going to do? We're going to do a hero spread. We're making you the main character, the hero for the next year. You'll have to go on a quest. You'll have your companions, you'll have your enemies, your downfalls, your wonder weapons. You'll have a mission to complete. It will all be very, very fantasy novel-like. But talked enough about this now, so how do we proceed? Welcome, my brave adventurer. The first thing that you will need is some sort of divination tool, ideally some tarot or oracle cards, rune stones, or something similar that you can lay out. As I said, I'm using my Lord of the Rings tarot card deck that I just got for Christmas. So excited, and also very fitting to our adventure ahead. First, I'm gonna show you a little 4-card spread that will give you your adventure story for the year, meaning it will give you some reflection points on how to tackle obstacles in a new year, new experiences, things that you might feel anxiety about, certain goals, certain happenings, events in your life. It's a fun way of approaching the new year in a growth mindset, learning and accomplishing things in a more playful, less restrictive and hustle-free way in the new year. Instead of going with a long list of goals and must-do betters and should-dos, we are coming up with one quest, one storyline that you can repurpose and reuse through the year and focus on in order to deal with what life is throwing at you. So how did I go about that? I first picked 4 cards. Now first, our hero, which is us, of course needs a quest. As you're entering to the magical gates of 2023, an old wizard hands you a parchment paper that holds your quest, your mission, the thing that you're destined to strive for or achieve. And depending on what card you pick, that might give you a topic, it might give you an inspiration for things to let go of, for something to strive for or to work on. Every hero, of course, also needs some sort of support. Might it be his companions, talents, a special magical wonder weapon, or maybe it's strengths or superpowers. This is our second card. The second card gives you inspiration on what skills you can focus on, what resources to turn to or use for or look out for or get, strengths in yourself, community, whatever your card tells you, try and lean into that when times get tough. The third card is the enemies, the monsters, the downfalls and obstacles our hero will face. These might be things to watch out for, things to do some shadow work on, things to cut out of your life, cut ties with, be prepared for, or really just be aware of. And our fourth card is discoveries and exploration, everything the hero, the main character, can learn this coming year. And that might actually mean difficulties or obstacles that we will learn a lesson from, or the lesson we do have to learn, things that we can still grow in, or just things to look out for and open our minds and hearts to. My quest was the search for control, willpower, success and determination, taking action, which was supported by my second card, the 9 of Wands, standing for resilience, courage, persistence, the things that I know are already strengths of mine, my previous experiences going through harder times where I could already build trust in working hard. My enemies or downfalls to watch out for were the 6 of Pentacles, a balance between giving and receiving. Sharing wealth and generosity is something that I like to do, but sometimes a little bit to my own fault, where I'm too gullible with people, which I shall definitely watch out for in the coming year, because some people do unfortunately like to take advantage. And the discoveries or learning lessons that I will have to make in the coming year is represented for me by the Wheel of Fortune, symbolizing life cycles, their ups and downs. There are turning points in life, you just have to roll with the punches. Sometimes Fortuna smiles on you, other times not so much, but I'll trust that the wheel will never get stuck in one place. Personally, I wrote down all the keywords for the specific cards that I picked and then made up a little storyline. And after having this empowering hero story in front of me, I thought I wanted to do a little magical sigil or symbol that will kind of like encompass this entire story for me and will represent it for the new year, so I can use it in spells, in magic work, in ritual, by drawing it, by thinking about it, by tracing it, by putting it on my fridge as a reminder. How did I make that sigil? I took the symbolism from my cards and drew something that combined all 4 of them. For the Wheel of Fortune, I drew a wheel and I placed my little hero figure on the bottom left, walking upwards in the wheel, because that's a great reminder for when you're down, there's only one way, and that's up, to symbolize the resilience, the strength, the things I've already gone through. I put 2 little swishes of energy behind that figure to bring in that feeling of motion. In order to symbolize those boundaries and guarding a little bit better, I drew that hero with an outstretched hand. I'm definitely not an artist, so it's only kind of like a stick figure drawing, but I feel that works best for my sigils anyway, because they're easy to replicate, and that's how I went about it. Okay, my pretty witches, I hope this inspired you for your own New Year's ritual. Let me know what message your cards carried, and I wish you a happy, a very healthy, a playful, mindful, wholesome year full of learning opportunities, growing opportunities, and the occasional cake, because cake is always good, right? So I'm gonna see you in the next year. Bye!